At 10:10 p.m. tonight on June 26th, Archangel Michael reveals the one betraying you in plain sight. He watches over you, but you never listen. Don't skip this or you'll miss the truth. The hour is not random. The time is not coincidental. June 26th, at exactly 10:10 p.m., marks a divine appointment carved into the architecture of heaven's calendar. This is not merely a moment, it is a decree, a crack in the veil, a heavenly summons. For too long, you have walked under the weight of a presence you could not name. You have smiled through discomfort. You have nodded through warning dreams. And now, the silence of heaven breaks, for Archangel Michael has drawn his sword, and at this precise hour, he moves on your behalf. He has watched long enough. He has hovered while you wept quietly in confusion. He has stood watch while you dined beside deception. The one who has stood at the gates of heaven now stands at the doorway of your spirit, declaring, no more delay, no more blind fellowship, no more tolerating the serpent at your table. Tonight he intervenes. This message is not for everyone. No, not all will feel the shiver of this word passing through their soul. This word is spiritual code, a sacred alert. It is for those who have felt the gnawing of divine unrest, the sharp, aching twist in your stomach that can't be explained. It is for the ones who have sensed betrayal in the air but couldn't trace its scent. It is for the ones who have been too loyal to question, too trusting to investigate. Tonight, that ends. There is no more room for passivity. The betrayal is not forming. It has already begun. It is unfolding in real time. Behind your back, behind your screen, behind your kindness, behind your sacrifice. And yet, you remain unaware, distracted, comforted by the facade of loyalty. But Archangel Michael whispers through the tension, you have seen the signs. You have heard the dreams. You have felt the pull. He warned you in dreams. He warned you in symbols. He warned you in the way their voice shifted, in the way their presence started to feel like pressure instead of peace. If you ignore this moment, you forfeit divine clarity. If you disregard this hour, you lose the very insight heaven has fought to deliver to your soul. You've asked for clarity. You begged for truth. You've prayed for discernment. And now that it comes, do not let your familiarity with their face blind you to the spiritual rot behind it. Heaven is not dramatic. Heaven is deliberate. And when heaven picks an hour, such as 10:10 p.m. on June 26, it is because the dimension is thin, the veil is ready, and truth is permitted to rise. But for truth to land, you must be still. You must be silent. You must lay down your biases and your emotional need to hold on to people God is actively removing. Stillness is your gate. Silence is your safety. The betrayer is near, and heaven will not compete with noise. Tonight, everything changes. Type I am anointed in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. He speaks over you tonight, not as a distant echo, not as a vague impression, but as a thunderous decree from the highest courts of heaven. Archangel Michael is not whispering now. He is roaring in the spirit. His voice cuts through your distractions, your doubts, your delays. He is not asking for your attention. He is claiming it. This is the moment where heaven's war draws near, not to comfort, but to confront. In the next 2 hours, everything changes. You felt the shift already, haven't you? Your ear feels heavier. Your chest feels tighter. You glance at your phone and sense something is off, but can't explain why. Time feels slower or faster. but never normal. That's not anxiety. That's not overthinking. That's spiritual agitation. A divine disruption sent to make you pause, to make you wonder, to make you ask, what am I missing? This is a spiritual ambush cloaked in familiarity. The betrayal that stalks you wears a smile. The deception coming against you wears memories. You trust the voice that's plotting. You love the one who's leaking. But heaven does not blink when humans hide. It sees what you ignore. And tonight, heaven reveals. The warning signs have been arriving. They were not subtle, you were distracted. They were not hidden, you were too loyal to look. The awkward silences in conversations. A sudden deflection when your name was brought up. The shift in their eyes when you shared your dreams. The way your spirit tightened when they offered their support. These were not mood swings. These were alarms. Heaven sent them, and you dismissed them. They told you to pray it away. You tried, but the restlessness remained. That's because it's not a feeling, it's a signal. Your spirit has been reacting to what your heart refuses to accept. God gave you a radar. Archangel Michael is now standing in the center of it. You felt the shift in atmospheres. Rooms you once enjoyed now feel suffocating. People you once laughed with now leave you drained. You assumed it was you. It wasn't. It was them. It was their shift. Their intentions changed, and your soul noticed before your mind could catch up. That's what divine sensitivity feels like. It's uncomfortable. It's disorienting. But it's also a gift. And tonight, that gift is being sharpened. This message, this moment, is not for the masses. This is not viral. It's spiritual. It's not meant to trend. It's meant to tremble. If you found your way here, if these words are piercing you deeper than language should allow, then you are the one heaven chose. You are the one Michael was sent to protect. This is not a broadcast. It is a summons. You asked heaven to reveal the truth. Tonight, truth knocks. You beg God to show you who's not for you. Tonight, your answer arrives not with names but with knowing. This isn't about calling out. It's about waking up. Because the betrayal is happening while you smile at them. They are speaking well in public, but in private they curse you. They mimic support with their mouths, but their spirit recoils at your success. You feel their delay in texting back. You sense the hollowness behind their compliments. You notice how they are always absent when you elevate. You're not imagining it. You're discerning it. Heaven doesn't need to shout to be true. Sometimes heaven whispers through unease. Archangel Michael is drawing near to the ones who will listen. This is not about fear. This is about focus. Those who are asleep to their surroundings will miss this moment. But you are awake. You've been sensing it. You've just needed confirmation. And now confirmation speaks. There are layers to this revelation. Michael will not show you everything at once. This is not a dump. It is a download. Revelation requires stillness. And right now, Michael is preparing your eyes to see what your heart has denied. Understand this. Betrayal is not always violent. Sometimes it's subtle. It's in the pause before they clap for you. It's in the way they repeat your dreams to others, slightly distorted. It's in the way they talk about your journey with a smirk, not reverence. It's in the way they show up for your struggle but vanish for your success. You see it. You feel it. You've cried over it. And still, you wait for proof. But tonight, heaven offers not just proof. It offers permission. Permission to see. Permission to know. Permission to withdraw. There is no more denying what your spirit has confirmed. Archangel Michael will not allow the charade to continue. You've been too loyal to the wrong ones. You've kept covenant with counterfeit connections. But the heavens are shifting your circle. Not to Palehu, but to Bradev. This is the stage for selective revelation. Not everyone will understand what's happening. Some will call you paranoid. Others will accuse you of being too sensitive. Let them speak. Let them scoff. Your opinions are irrelevant. This moment is holy, and only the awakened will hear. Tonight, Archangel Michael does not suggest. He commands. He commands your spirit to wake up. He calls your discernment to the front line. The next 2 hours are critical. Stay alert. Stay sensitive. Stay surrendered. The ones who heed this call will be spared from heartbreaks that were never meant to form. You've been called out of deception and into divine sight. The veil is thinning. The angels are speaking. Heaven is aligning. The betrayer stands in plain sight. But until now, you did not have eyes to see. Now you do. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. You felt it. The gaze that lingers too long. The compliment that sounds sweet but lands strange in your spirit. The silence when your name is praised. The celebration that feels delayed. There is something behind those eyes, and you've known it for some time now. But you pushed it aside. You gave them the benefit of the doubt. You told yourself you were overthinking, overfeeling, imagining things that weren't there. But let this truth hit your soul tonight. You weren't wrong. You were discerning. Their eyes watch, but not with love. Their words support you, but their heart resents you. And heaven is tired of watching you pretend not to see it. Your dreams have already tried to tell you. You've woken up with heaviness. You've remembered their face in flashes. You felt something was off for weeks now, maybe even months. These are not just odd sensations, they are spiritual broadcasts. And you, beloved, are tuned in. You notice the energy shifts. They speak in a tone they didn't use before. They suddenly distance themselves when favor finds you. They show up less, or when they do, they feel like they are taking instead of pouring. This is not just human inconsistency. This is not just changing season. This is a covert spiritual betrayal, a disloyalty that started not with action, but with intention. They smile in person, but curse you in private. This is the duality that heaven is uncovering. They clap for your wins in the light, but in the shadows, they question how you'd even receive them. They say "I'm proud of you" with their lips, but their spirit screams, "That should have been me." They think you can't feel it. What you do. Your spirit feels it before your ears ever hear it. And now, your spirit is sounding the alarm. You felt confused lately, haven't you? Unsettled. Drained. Unsure why you're suddenly questioning things you were once confident in. That confusion didn't come from nowhere. It's the spiritual fallout of being too close to someone who carries quiet sabotage in their soul. The betrayal is spiritual first. It's hidden in glances. It's stuck in silence. It's disguised in forced laughter. And then it begins to manifest. Missed calls. Strange delays. Indirect jabs masked as humor. Conversations that somehow leave you feeling smaller, not stronger. You sensed this disruption but kept quiet. You didn't want to be accused of judging. You didn't want to hurt anyone. You wanted to believe in the best. But understand this, heaven never told you to suffer silently. Heaven never asked you to stay loyal to confusion. Heaven only asked you to listen. And now heaven speaks, louder than ever. Broken patterns, sudden distance, strange silence when you shared your victories. People who once checked in daily now go days without a word. And when they do return, their presence feels strange, heavy, empty. You find yourself questioning if you did something wrong, but you didn't. It's not your fault. It's spiritual exposure. You're being shown what can't go with you. You're being shown who cannot handle your next. You prayed for God to reveal who is truly for you. You asked in tears, Lord, show me who's real. He heard you. And tonight he answers. Not with confrontation, not with names shouted from the heavens, but with a knowing, a sacred awareness that begins to settle in your bones, a heaviness that will not lift until you acknowledge it. This is not paranoia. This is prophecy unfolding in real time. Let yourself feel it. Let yourself grieve it. Because it is painful to realize that the person who betrayed you has been walking beside you with hands that once held yours, words that once encouraged you, and eyes that once gazed upon you with what felt like loyalty. That dissonance is real. And yet, heaven says, look again. Look past the surface. Look past the history. Look past the loyalty you gave that they never truly returned. Look at the spirit behind the smile. The truth is close, so close you can taste it. But heaven, in its mercy, has not revealed everything just yet. You are being drawn into divine suspense. Why? Because heaven wants you still, not reactive, not emotional, not impulsive. Still, your flesh wants answers. Your ego wants confrontation. But your spirit knows that revelation without wisdom becomes a weapon in the wrong hands. And heaven wants your hands clean. Do you feel the unsettled quiet around you? And it's not emptiness. It's positioning. You're being pulled away from the noise so you can hear what God is whispering. You're being called out of the crowd so you can face the truth alone, before it becomes public. Heaven always warns before exposure. And this is your warning. You are standing on the edge of truth, and heaven is holding its breath. Will you finally see what God hath been showing you? Let the mystery unsettle you. Let the emotional disruption rattle the false peace. Because only when peace is disrupted can real peace begin. The truth is not coming to destroy you. The truth is coming to release you. You have tolerated too many counterfeits. You have excused too many patterns. And now, Archangel Michael steps forward with a sword in his hand and a word in his mouth. The one betraying you is not far. They are near. They are familiar. And their mask is slipping. The delay in revelation was protection. But that delay has ended. This is the moment of awakening. You will not cry for clarity again. You will not beg God to reveal what has already been placed in front of you. You will see it. You will know it. And then, you will rise. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating via PayPal using the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Subscribe for weekly prophetic messages, spiritual clarity, and divine insight to keep you aligned and empowered through every season of your life. Type I receive in the comments if you know this message is yours. Blessing code 1010 is now released upon you. Let it be known The betrayal you feel it is not random. It is not senseless. It is not without spiritual structure. Heaven wants you to hear this and hear it clearly. This betrayal is a test, not a tragedy. It is a refining fire, not a fatal blow. It is a divine appointment wearing the disguise of emotional chaos. The conflict you are walking through right now, the whispering, the spiritual tension, the shifting glances, it is not a human issue. It is a heavenly confrontation wrapped in earthly clothing. You are not being targeted because you are weak. You are being targeted because you are marked. Marked with glory. Marked with purpose. Marked with the oil of assignment. And those who are near you, even those closest, have begun to sense what is resting on your life. The ones who once celebrated you are now resisting you, because something divine is stirring under your surface. And they feel it. They may not have language for it, but their spirits recognize it before their minds ever could. They resent what they cannot explain. They envy what they cannot replicate. You carry a light that exposes the darkness in others, and it unnerves them. This is not about personality conflicts or misunderstanding. This is spiritual warfare disguised as social discomfort. And Archangel Michael needs you to stop making it about them and start discerning what heaven is trying to show you through them. Heaven is not allowing this exposure to destroy your circle, but to purify it. You've been asking for elevation, and elevation always comes with evaluation. Not of your worth, but of your surroundings. The warfare you are experiencing isn't because of your weakness. It's because you carry a divine clarity that confuses the ones around you. They smile in your presence, but their spirit trembles. Why? Because their agenda cannot survive the spotlight of your purpose. His betrayal is spiritual before it's personal. This is not just someone talking behind your back. This is the enemy working behind their smile. And the Lord says, be still. Do not confront prematurely. Do not argue. Do not wrestle in the flesh what I am dealing with in the spirit. Your silence is not passivity, it is divine strategy. It is obedience. Your restraint is your warfare. It is your resistance against the temptation to ruin what heaven is refining. Archangel Michael has seen every word spoken in shadows. He has stood in rooms where your name was distorted, where your anointing was mocked, where your assignment was discussed as if it were a threat. He has heard the laughter behind your back. He has witnessed the jealousy that hides behind fake support. He has watched, not in helplessness, but in patience, waiting for the moment appointed by heaven to reveal all. Do not think for a moment that heaven is indifferent. Heaven is not passive, it is precise. It moves with timing, with rhythm, with divine orchestration. And you, beloved, are not abandoned in this. You are being watched, protected, and refined. Your pain is not unnoticed. Your confusion is not ignored. Your silence hath been your sword, and now heaven sharpens it. Resist the urge to speak. Resist the urge to post. Resist the urge to explain yourself to those who secretly hoped you'd fall. Your voice is too sacred to cast before swine. Your energy is too holy to waste on empty hearts. Heaven will vindicate you, but only if you stay in alignment. You are not called to confront everyone. You are called to outlast them. You are not called to retaliate. You are called to rise. The warfare around you is hidden in casual interactions. The tension is spiritual, even when the face looks familiar. That's why the betrayal hurts so deeply, because it came through someone who held your trust. But hear this clearly, familiarity does not equal loyalty. You thought their proximity meant protection. But now, heaven is showing you that not everyone close is called. Some are present for access, not alignment. This moment of conflict is a divine mirror. It's showing you what needs to go, what needs to shift, what you've outgrown. And it's not punishment. It's positioning. You are not losing people, you are losing weight. Spiritual baggage is falling off. Heaven is trimming your circle, not to isolate you, but to insulate you. You are being shielded. You are being strengthened. You are being set apart. They dog. Let them talk. They gather. Let them gather. They scheme. Let them scheme. Because none of it will succeed if you remain in the posture of silence and surrender. God is not looking for your reaction. He is looking for your restraint. Your stillness will bring what your voice cannot. Archangel Michael stands ready, sword drawn, to defend the one who refuses to fight in the flesh. You don't have to call them out. You don't have to expose them. They will expose themselves. They always do. Because what is built on false motives cannot sustain itself. The weight of your purpose will crush their performance. And what you thought would break you will reveal them. Heaven is aligning the next level of your life based on how you respond in this exact moment. Let that truth humble you. Let that awareness still you. Your reaction is being measured. Not for punishment, but for promotion. Heaven is watching not just what's happening around you, but what's rising within you. Do not step out of character. Do not descend into pettiness. Rise. Speak heaven's words, not your own. Respond in honor. Walk in light. Let God be your defender. Because when He defends you, no lie can stand. No whisper can stick. No plot can prosper. This is not just betrayal. This is transformation. And you are passing the test with silence as your strategy and discernment as your weapon. Type "I am walking in wisdom" in the comments if this message pierces you. Blessing code 777 is unlocking discernment over your life. There is movement in the spirit realm tonight. Not all movement is visible, and not always is audible. But just because you cannot see the shaking doesn't mean it hasn't started. Heaven whispers now with solemn urgency, they are moving tonight. The ones whose smiles carry silence, whose presence wraps around you like comfort but conceals chaos, they are stirring. The betrayal is not just a possibility. It is an unfolding. It is a sequence. It is already in motion, hidden beneath gestures and conversations that seem harmless but are not. Within the next 72 hours, exposure will begin. A crack will form in the structure they built to conceal their intentions. Their mask is slipping. Their story is faltering. Your consistency is unraveling. And it will not be loud at first. It will begin with something subtle. A delay. A slip. A word misplaced. An accidental reveal. They will call it a misunderstanding, but you will know better. You will feel the breath of heaven in that moment, and remember, you were warned. They are preparing something tonight. Not a confrontation, but a sabotage. Not an explosion, but a carefully planned detour. Some will twist your words. Others will distort your story. They will test the waters to see how much they can say behind you without being suspected. They are stitching together lies beneath the surface while still shaking your hand in public. And if you are not spiritually awake, you will walk straight into a trap designed to distract, discredit, or delay you. But hear this, heaven is not intimidated. Archangel Michael has already gone before you. He has seen the meeting. He has heard the conversations behind doors you will never enter. He has recorded the intentions of their heart, the envy, the deceit, the resentment. These things were never hidden from God. And now, The Lord of hosts issues a sacred announcement. They will not succeed. But you must not interfere prematurely. The temptation will be strong. You may want to confront. You may want to call it out. But that is not your assignment. That is not your battle. The moment you step into flesh, you step out of flow. The moment you fight to defend yourself, you give the enemy the platform they desire. You are not called to wrestle in public with what God is already slaying in private. Let them scheme. Let them spin. Let them scatter. You've already seen veiled clues. Think back. A dream you couldn't shake. The initials that appeared in conversation with no clear reason. The moment you opened a message and something inside you recoiled. That wasn't a mood. That was spiritual instinct. God gave you glimpses, not to make you afraid, but to make you aware. And now those glimpses are forming a full picture. There is a divine build-up happening. The pressure is rising. The tension is thick. That's because the spirit realm is on the edge. Heaven is leaning in. Hell is scrambling. And your name has become the topic of rooms you were never meant to sit in. But you are not to worry, you are to watch it. Because in the next 72 hours, heaven will confirm what your heart already knows. Pay attention to the conversations that shift mid-sentence when you enter the room, to the strange avoidance from the one who used to call daily, to the sarcasm that suddenly tastes like venom. These are not coincidences. These are revelations cloaked in subtlety. And if you are still enough, if you are spiritually sober, you will see what God is uncovering right now. There is something else you need to know. The betrayal was not just about you. It was about what's coming through you. This attack is connected to your next. There is an elevation in your future that the enemy is desperate to block. And so he whispered into the ears of those closest to you. He planted doubt. He fanned old insecurities. And they took the bait. They allowed their hearts to turn against you while still pretending to be for you. But hear this. The lie is cracking. Their narrative is falling apart. The story they created will not hold, because truth is beginning to breathe again. Heaven is not merely reacting. It has been orchestrating this exposure from the start. And every move they make in secret is pushing them closer to the trap they dug for you. It may feel heavy now. You may feel overwhelmed by the tension, the spiritual noise, the strange vibes around people you once trusted. That's because discernment is heightening. You are not imagining it. You are perceiving it. And that's the evidence you are being aligned with truth. Hold your peace. It is enough. In the next 72 hours, signs will begin to manifest. Your sleep will shift. You will hear things. Feel things. You'll notice small moments, strange slips, repeated numbers, eyes that no longer shine with light. These are your confirmations. Do not explain them away. The Lord is revealing in layers so you are not overwhelmed. Michael is walking ahead, severing ties, guarding your steps. Stay alert. Stay anchored. Stay quiet. Because the betrayer is preparing something, but so is heaven. And the one who reveals always finishes what he starts. Type I am still and ready in the comments. Blessing code 1221 is initiating your spiritual protection protocol. Now that the veil is being lifted, now that the hidden intentions are surfacing, now that what was whispered in corners is echoing in your spirit, you must move differently. You must listen more than you speak. You must pause before you respond. For in this very hour, Archangel Michael declares with divine authority, "Be still." Your silence is your sword. You are not under attack. You are under preservation. You are not being cornered. You are being covered. Heaven is not late. It is surgical. And in this sacred moment, your greatest defense is not your knowledge, not your reaction, not your strategy. It is your stillness. Not a passive stillness, but a warrior stillness, one that comes from knowing that God fights best when you stop swinging at shadows. They want you to react. That's part of the trap. The enemy knows if he can provoke your voice, he can distort your posture. He knows if he can pull you into a public defense, he can turn your clarity into confusion. But hear the voice of heaven clearly. Do not speak too soon. Do not confront what God is still revealing. Do not let your tongue become the tool of sabotage. Heaven will not let your enemies succeed unless you speak too soon. And not just to them, even to those around you. Some conversations are not meant for comfort. Some stories are not meant to be shared until heaven has completed the extraction. Yes, extraction. God is pulling people out of your life in this season, not because they hate you, but because they can no longer handle the weight of your assignment. You've outgrown their loyalty, and they've quietly started resenting your growth. You must adopt a new spiritual posture. This is not the time to argue. This is not the time to explain. This is not the time to make sure they understand. They don't want to understand. They want to drain you. Your power is in your restraint. Your protection is in your patience. Right now, you are being preserved in plain sight. Let them watch while you watch and pray. Observe. Pray. Record. Not confront. This is your posture. Watch their patterns. Don't react. Just note. Take it to prayer. Bring it to the presence of God, not the presence of people. Heaven has given you access to divine intelligence. Do not waste it trying to win approval from those whose intentions have already shifted. You are not weak, you are wise. That's why heaven is trusting you with this revelation. Because God knows you will not self-sabotage the process by moving ahead of the Spirit. That is what separates the anointed from the impulsive. Restraint. And restraint is your sword in this moment. Understand this. Archangel Michael has already surrounded your room. You may not see it with your eyes, but the atmosphere around you has changed. There is divine insulation covering your space. Your home is under spiritual surveillance. Your bed is guarded. Your rest is protected. Do not let anxiety convince you otherwise. The enemy wants you to feel unguarded, but the truth is, you are wrapped in holy defense. Right now, heaven is placing you in a divine cocoon. Not to isolate you, but to shield you. This is not exile. It is elevation under construction. What feels like loneliness is actually heaven clearing the air for clarity. You are not abandoned. You are being recalibrated. Speak these words out loud if you must, and let them echo through every corner of your space. I am covered. I am washed. I am safe. I am aligned. These are not affirmations. These are decrees. The kind that unlock angelic motion. The kind that send confusion into the enemy's camp. A kind that turn what the enemy meant for harm into divine evidence of favor. Timing, beloved, is everything. This moment, this quiet window between revelation and exposure, is where your posture will determine your promotion. If you speak too soon, you will lose divine leverage. If you confront from the flesh, you will collapse the strategy heaven is building in the spirit. But if you remain still, if you remain hidden under the wings of the Almighty, then nothing they do, nothing they say, nothing they plan will prosper. God does not reveal without purpose. God does not expose without protection. This isn't just about knowing who betrayed you. It's about seeing it, holding it, and not reacting to it, because your reward is tied to your obedience in the silence. This is the season where your hush holds more weight than your holler. Let them wonder what you know. Let them question why you're quiet. Let them feel the unease of not being able to read you anymore. That is spiritual warfare, and you are winning without even lifting your voice. Heaven will vindicate you. Heaven will reorder what was broken. But heaven needs your silence to seal the next stage. So tonight, sit in that silence, not with bitterness but with brilliance. You're not avoiding confrontation. You're aligning with your crown. You're not fearful. You're focused. You're not passive. You're prepared. You're not lost. You're led. Let this posture define you now. And when the moment comes, when the hand of God uncovers everything, you won't need to say a word. Heaven will speak for you. Type "I am still" in the comments if you are choosing divine silence over emotional impulse. Blessing code 1414 is securing your elevation path. They thought they were betraying who you used to be. A soft one. A giving one. The one who forgave without boundaries. The one who smiled through manipulation. The one who interpreted dishonor as delay, not dissection. But heaven is standing tall tonight to declare this truth over you. You are not who they betrayed. You are no longer that version of yourself. That version died the moment discernment awakened. That version shattered the moment heaven pulled back the curtain. That version served its purpose, but it is not who walks forward from this moment. Yes, they betrayed someone, but it wasn't you now. They betrayed a shadow of who you were. But the betrayal became a portal, and what they broke awakened what heaven built. This is not your breaking season. This is your becoming season. You are not breaking apart. You are breaking open. And inside that breaking, your wings are unfolding. Behind closed doors, where no one saw you weep, where no one heard you cry out for clarity, where no one acknowledged your silent suffering, your wings were growing. You felt the pain in your bones, the ache in your chest, the confusion in your soul. You thought you were being undone. You thought you were losing yourself. But you were not unraveling. You were transforming. This betrayal was heaven's sharpest scalpel, cutting away what could not go with you into destiny. It didn't feel like elevation. It felt like abandonment. But now, clarity comes. And what once felt like punishment now feels like prophecy. Archangel Michael speaks this decree into your soul tonight. You are rising. You are maturing. You are being positioned. You are not a victim of betrayal. You are a vessel for refinement. You are not stuck in a storm. You are being launched by it. The winds that tried to shake you are now carrying you. The rejection that tried to crush you is now revealing you. The confusion that tried to delay you is now pushing you toward alignment. Let this truth soak into every hidden place. The betrayal didn't break you. It built you. It built your discernment. You no longer ignore red flags in the name of love. It built your confidence. You no longer apologize for growing. It built your alignment. You no longer chase people who can't handle your call. It built your voice. You no longer silence your soul for someone else's comfort. You've evolved. The tears you cried were not wasted. Heaven counted each one and mixed them into the oil that now rests on your life. It's oil, the oil of discernment, the oil of focus, the oil of deliverance was crushed from the olives of betrayal. You carry now what others cannot fake, authority birthed through endurance. Heaven can trust you with more because you let the pain purify you. Now is the time to break the victim narrative. You are not abandoned. You are not overlooked. You are not disposable. You are chosen. You are appointed. You are anointed for the aftermath. Let those words ring through your spirit like a trumpet. You are anointed for the aftermath. This betrayal wasn't to destroy your heart. It was to direct your steps. You kept asking, God, why did they turn on me? Heaven answers tonight, because I was turning you toward your throne. Everything they tried to destroy was secretly serving your development. And the very ones who thought they buried you are about to witness your resurrection. Not a loud, flashy resurrection, but a powerful, silent, glorious one. Because heaven doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just shifts. And right now, heaven is shifting you from being emotionally tied to what tried to break you into spiritual dominion over what once controlled you. You are not stuck in bitterness. You are standing in becoming. Do not fall into the trap of needing closure. Heaven will close the door without your permission if you refuse to walk away. Let the chapter end. Let the illusion fade. Let the betrayal be a teacher, not a tomb. You are walking out of the ashes with oil. You are stepping out of the confusion with clarity. You are coming out of the silence with a strategy. Heaven doesn't reveal to destroy, heaven reveals to promote. And this revelation has not come to punish you. It has come to prepare you for what's next. Yes, your name has been mishandled. Yes, your trust was broken. But heaven is writing a greater narrative, and your betrayal is merely a comma, not a period. You are stepping into favor, not because you earned it, but because you endured. Favor is drawn to those who don't flinch in the fire. Favor is pulled to those who trust God enough to stay silent when their name is dragged. You are that one. You are the one heaven defended in secret. You are the one Archangel Michael fought for while you slept. Now walk, not timidly, not fearfully, but boldly. Walk into this next season knowing you are not the same. Walk knowing your enemies are confused by your silence. Walk knowing your discernment has graduated. Walk knowing your light is heavier now, your voice is weightier now, your steps are ordered now. You are not just warned, you are wiser. You are not just protected, you are promoted. You are not just stronger, you are sharpened. You are not who they betrayed. You are who heaven revealed. Type I have evolved in the comments if this word is for your now season. Blessing code 1818 is sealing your transformation. Heaven does not waste pain. God does not allow betrayal without cause. Every storm, every silence, every sleepless night has been leading you to this moment, and now it comes with power. Archangel Michael steps forward, his sword no longer drawn for battle, but lifted high as a banner. Why? Because the fight has shifted. You are not under threat. You are under revelation. And what is being unveiled now is not just about who betrayed you, it's about why it had to happen now. Not last year. Not 6 months ago. Not when you asked. But now. Why? Because this is the unlocking moment you prayed for. You didn't just ask for answers, you asked for access. You didn't just ask for clarity, you cried out for calling. You begged God to reveal who was truly for you, but what you were really praying for, whether you realized it or not, was your next dimension. And heaven answered not with an invitation but with a shaking. You see, promotion in the spirit never arrives with a spotlight. It arrives with separation. Elevation never knocks with flowers. It knocks with silence. And in that silence, betrayal begins to echo louder. But what you mistook as rejection was actually refinement. The betrayal was allowed because delay had to end. It wasn't just someone turning on you. It was heaven turning you toward destiny. Let this be imprinted on your soul tonight. The betrayal was the bridge. The pain was the punishment. It was the only language your heart would respond to. Had they not switched up, had they not lied, had they not distanced themselves, you would have stayed. You would have settled. You would have kept waiting on people who were never aligned with your future. And heaven, in mercy, allowed the mask to fall, not to break your heart, but to break your hesitation. And now that the illusion is gone, now that the clarity has arrived, now that the weight is lifting, heaven speaks. The reward is being released. For what was stolen, double shall return. For what was misrepresented, truth shall thunder. For what was delayed, heaven is now accelerating. The spiritual traffic has cleared. The angelic pathways have opened. This betrayal was the cost, but access is the return. You are stepping into divine promotion. Not a title, not a platform. Something far deeper. Divine authority. Sharp discernment. Untouchable peace. Anointed timing. You no longer need the validation of man to feel called, because now your revelation speaks louder than applause ever could. Heaven has stamped your soul, and no counterfeit connection can unmark what God has sealed. This next level is not just elevation, it's assignment. New doors will open in the weeks ahead. Unfamiliar names will come into your life. Unexpected opportunities will unfold. But you must remember this. You are not being rewarded because you were right. You are being entrusted because you remained righteous. You did not speak prematurely. You did not retaliate with bitterness. You did not dishonor them even while they dismissed you. And because of that, heaven can now trust you with what others were not qualified to carry. Archangel Michael declares this is not the season of mourning. This is the season of momentum. You are being ushered into acceleration. And though you feel the ache of betrayal lingering, do not be deceived by it. That ache is not your home. That ache is simply the last thread of a chapter being severed. Don't hold on to it. Let it tear. Let it close. Because the oil that's being released over your life requires no old residue. You are not being promoted in private. You are being promoted in prophecy. And prophecy always comes after pruning. They had to turn. They had to leave. They had to be exposed. Because heaven is preparing to surround you with those who match your mantle, not your memories. You asked if God forgot you. You questioned the delay. But now the heavens respond, I didn't forget you. I was preparing you. Your name hath been on angelic lips. Your file has been before the throne. Your tears, your patience, your silence, all of it has been weighed. And now the scales tip in your favor. What seemed delayed is now due. This betrayal was allowed to end your delay. That's why it had to sting. That's why it had to be someone close. Nothing else would have moved you. And nothing else would have shifted you. But now that you've moved, now that your spirit has stepped out of old alignments, divine release can begin. The curtain is opening. The new script is unfolding. The time is no longer approaching. It is here. You will not miss this shift, because heaven has ensured that everything not assigned to your next season has now been removed by force. You will rise not just despite the betrayal, but because of it. And they will watch, not in vengeance, but in vindication. Heaven will make sure that those who said you were finished will see you flourish. But remember, you are not rising to prove them wrong. You are rising to prove heaven right. If this word has confirmed what you've been sensing, consider sowing into this moment with a super thanks. $10, $20, whatever God leads. Your gift helps us pour into more lives with truth, power, and prophecy. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating via PayPal using the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss the revelations and warnings that keep your spirit armed, focused, and protected. Your subscription makes a difference. Type "This is my moment" in the comments if this word is confirmation. Blessing code 1717 is unlocking divine compensation in your life. This is not just a revelation. This is a release. This is not just a moment of exposure. This is a moment of activation. And now that the betrayer has been unmasked, now that the veil has lifted and discernment has sharpened, there is only one question left echoing in the courts of heaven: will you obey the call? Because what happens next, what heaven unleashes in your life from this very point forward, is not determined by the betrayal. It is determined by your yes. You've been given eyes to see, ears to hear, and a heart that can feel spiritual weight in rooms others ignore. You've been marked with insight, not to flatter your ego, but to fulfill a destiny contract, one written before time began, one soaked in covenant, one sealed in angelic witness. But that contract cannot activate by pain alone. It is ignited by obedience, and that obedience begins in the realm of words. Speak what heaven says, not what your ego screams. Your ego wants revenge. Your ego wants to prove them wrong. Your ego wants to confront, to expose, to clap back. But heaven says, not this time. Because if you speak from pain, you will bind your future to your past. If you react with bitterness, you will tether your rising to their failure. But if you obey, if you declare what heaven declares, if you speak from the throne room instead of the trauma, you will accelerate into realms no betrayal could ever block. This is the moment where your tongue becomes your tool, not to attack but to align. Say it out loud. Even now, I am chosen. I am unmoved. I am protected. I am being promoted. These words are not poetic. They are prophetic. They are unlocking what pain have been holding hostage. Because your destiny has been waiting. Not on healing. Not on time. Not on vindication. It has been waiting on your agreement. Obedience is not always a leap. Sometimes it's a whisper. Sometimes it's writing the vision even while your heart is bleeding. Sometimes it's walking away from the betrayer with no closure, no apology, no validation, just the whisper of God's voice saying, "Keep moving. I got you." Wait it. Declare it. Align with it. There is something God gave you to build that will not wait another season. There is something inside you that can no longer sleep. The betrayal tried to bury it, but the pain broke the shell. And now the seed is exposed to light. You are not dying. You are being planted. But planting feels like pressure before it ever looks like purpose. Let go of the need to make sense of it all. Your spirit already knows what to do. That's why you've been feeling a pull toward new habits, deeper prayer, quieter mornings. That's why your appetite for old circles has dried up. That's why you can't stomach the same entertainment, the same conversations, the same surface-level connections anymore. You're not going crazy. You're going higher. You don't have time to manage betrayal anymore. You don't have room to carry what tried to kill your calling. You are in destiny territory now, and obedience is your only access pass. Heaven waits for your yes, not your comfort, not your understanding, just your surrender. And that surrender, beloved, is how you step out of cycles and into calling. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait to be ready. You are ready now. The moment you saw their mask slip. The moment the dream made sense. The moment the silence hurt more than the lie. That was the turning point. That was God saying, enough. Enough. Move forward. Step in. You've been sitting in the hallway too long, reading the last chapter. But heaven already turned the page. This next move isn't just a decision. It's a declaration to the spirit realm. I agree with God. Not with my fear. Not with my wounds. Not with the betrayal that broke me. I agree with God. This is not about revenge. This is about reign. You are called to dominion. To order. To speak and see it happen. But before your feet walk it out, your mouth must call it forth. Say it even if your voice shakes. Declare it even if your mind doubts. Because your soul knows something your circumstances don't. This is the shift. This is the moment. This is the hour. You will not wander another year waiting for closure. You will not waste another month begging for apologies. You will not lose another week shrinking to fit where you've outgrown. You are the deliverer of your own destiny, because God lives in you, breathes through you, speaks over you. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You just need to move when heaven says move. And heaven is speaking now. Not with chaos, not with thunder, but with the still, piercing certainty of divine command. Go forward. Obey. Speak. Lying. They come. Heaven doesn't delay without reason. But once obedience hits the earth, acceleration hits your life. The angels that have been waiting on your surrender are already gathering. And the doors you thought would take years to open are about to swing without warning. Light. Because the betrayer did not win. They were used. Use it to reposition you. To reroute you. To reignite you. Now the rest is in your hands. Speak it. Move in it. Own it. It is not just time. It is your turn. Type I say yes to destiny in the comments. Blessing code 1555 is now unlocking divine instructions and forward momentum in your life. Something is moving in silence. Not in chaos. Not in fire. Not in noise. But in a sacred stillness that few perceive. While you've been distracted by betrayal on earth, there hath been an exchange occurring in the spirit realm, invisible to eyes, but undeniable to those with spiritual hearing. It did not begin today. It began the moment your heart broke and you chose stillness over slander. It began the moment you laid down revenge and picked up reverence. And now, Archangel Michael lifts the veil and declares, what was stolen is returning. Yes, stolen. Not just your trust, not just your time, but pieces of you that were taken by manipulation, confidence that was chipped away in secret, opportunities that were delayed because you poured too much into people who only took, conversations that drained your vision, loyalty that exhausted your spirit. All of it was a withdrawal from your divine account, and heaven took record of every loss, every overlooked moment, every sacrifice unseen, every seed sown into ground that bore no fruit. And tonight, that record is not just being acknowledged, it's being redeemed. This betrayal was not wasted. It triggered a transaction. While they lied, heaven recorded. While they plotted, angels observed. While they played innocent, God documented intent. And now that the betrayal has been exposed and your obedience has held strong, the silent exchange begins. Heaven is releasing what was withheld. Not because you fought for it, but because you refused to become like them. You passed the test. Listen closely. There is a spiritual courtroom. There are angelic scribes. There is divine evidence being presented. The pain you endured was a testimony. The silence you kept was a weapon. And every moment you chose discernment over drama, every second you withheld your tongue when you could have lashed out, it was an offering. Not to man, but to God. And God never ignores an offering made in the fire. While you wept, angels wrote. They wrote your pain into the scrolls of your future favor. They wrote the betrayal into the blueprint of your breakthrough. They watched you fall asleep exhausted, wondering if anyone even saw your heart breaking, and they marked that night. Every tear fell into the hands of the host. And now, those tears are being turned into compensation. Divine reparations. Not from a betrayer, but from heaven itself. This is not revenge. This is restoration. A difference. Revenge feeds ego. Restoration feeds purpose. God doesn't pay back the way man does. He doesn't repay petty with petty. He repays betrayal with divine building. He repays heartbreak with healing that accelerates culling. He repays the loss of false friends with the arrival of divinely sent reinforcements. So don't expect the return to look like an apology. Don't expect them to suddenly wake up and admit their wrongs. That's not how heaven works. What they owe you, God will multiply through the doors that are about to open. You will receive through platforms you didn't build, relationships you didn't pursue, blessings you didn't ask for, but that were written in your file all along. Because this is the transaction of heaven. You lose a liar, you gain your destiny. You release a counterfeit, you step into real covenant. You let go of the familiar, you unlock the faithful provision of your future. And while it hurts, yes, heaven knows it hurts, this pain is the currency of prophetic movement. Do not think your endurance was in vain. Do not think your silence was overlooked. Do not think your obedience was forgotten. Archangel Michael was there when they lied, when they manipulated, when they celebrated your silence as weakness. But what they didn't see was the angel standing behind you, recording everything. And now, those scrolls are being opened. That documentation is being presented in the realm of justice. And the verdict has already been issued. Return what was stolen. With interest. You will recover time, relationships, opportunities, and most of all, clarity. Because clarity is the most expensive gift of all, and betrayal is often its prize. Now that you see, now that you survive it, now that you've matured, you are qualified. Qualified to step into the release that was delayed, not denied. Heaven has been active in the silence. Not absent, active. But didn't go quiet because he didn't care. You went quiet because your spirit had to be retrained to hear his voice again, not theirs. And now that you've unplugged from counterfeit conversations and stepped into solitude, his whisper has become a roar. There is a spiritual trade happening even now. The things you thought were dead are being exhumed. The anointing you thought you lost is being refreshed. The oil you feared had dried up is being stirred again. You are not barren. You were just broken. But that brokenness created the cracks where God could pour new fire. They thought they were ending you. But what they did unknowingly was provoke the release of destiny over your life. And heaven, in its infinite justice, has initiated a complete reversal. Not to please your pride, but to align your purpose. Your name is now protected. Your destiny is now reactivated. The spirit realm has already adjusted in your favor. And soon, very soon, The physical will catch up. Keep watching. Keep listening. Keep obeying. The greatest wealth is not what you receive. It's what you realize. And what you're realizing now is this. You never lost anything heaven couldn't restore. Type I am receiving what was stolen in the comments. Blessing code 9090 is finalizing the divine exchange in your favor. You don't need revenge. You don't need to force vindication. You don't even need an apology. Because heaven has already ruled in your favor. The one who sees all, who weighs the hearts of man, who hears whispers in shadows and captures tears in secret, has stepped into your case, and the verdict is justice. Divine justice. Final. Complete. And irreversible. What they did in darkness will be answered by what God reveals in light. And not for your ego, but for your elevation. Yes, they dug a grave, but it was never for you. They set a trap, but it is now under their feet. They whispered lies, rewrote your story, sat with serpents and smiled as your name was dismantled in their presence. But heaven kept score, not for spite, not to punish, but to reverse. And now, Archangel Michael sounds the decree across the spirit realm. The tables are turning. What they meant for evil, God is not just using for good. He is using it as a foundation. The very ashes of your heartbreak are becoming the cement of your next level. You are not rising beside the betrayal. You are rising from it. The very pain that tried to disqualify you is now your platform. The tears that were mocked will now water the seeds of a future they will watch grow and not touch. They will see you rise in what they tried to bury. This is not petty. This is prophetic justice. This is heaven's answer to the secret plot. This is not about them being exposed, it's about you being exalted. Your attempt to silence you will be the reason your voice carries power. Their attempt to shrink you will be the reason your territory expands. Your resistance became your release, and the reversal has already begun. Doors are unlocking. Favor is shifting. Conversations are taking place in rooms you haven't even entered yet. Why? Because heaven saw your restraint. Because the spirit realm honors the one who refuses to retaliate. You passed the test, and now the reward is being assigned, not just double for your trouble, but tenfold for your tears, tenfold restoration, tenfold clarity, tenfold favor. What was delayed is now being delivered, not by man but by mandate. A divine mandate that says, you shall no longer be the tail, but the head. You shall no longer be overlooked, but overtaken by blessing. You are not just being blessed, you are being reversed into authority. Let the betrayer watch, not to blow, but to witness the righteousness of God. God does not mock. God does not miss. God does not forget. And when He acts, He doesn't just restore you to where you were, He propels you to where you were always meant to be. You are not returning to normal. You are not returning to average. You are ascending into a realm that your past disqualified, but your obedience requalified. You've endured character assassination, emotional sabotage, spiritual manipulation, and still, you remain anchored. You stayed in position. And because of that, God is about to send unexpected vindication. It won't come how you expect. It may not even come through the people you think, but it will come from strange places, from unlikely sources, through divine whispers that shift public perception overnight. They tried to bury your name, but God has written it in rooms they can't enter. They tried to block your movement, but the Spirit has placed acceleration on your feet. They tried to keep others from supporting you. But now God is raising up those with influence and intercession, people who won't just believe in you, but will carry your assignment with honor. Let it be declared right now, heaven balances the books better than men ever could. Nothing stolen will go unrepaid. Nothing lied about will go unchallenged by heaven's authority. And this isn't about humiliation. This is about demonstration. A demonstration of God's covenant. A demonstration of how justice looks in the kingdom. Not by lawsuits, not by public takedowns, but by supernatural reversal. You will not have to explain what happened. God will show it. You will not have to clear your name. God will crown it. You will not have to argue. God will answer. And when He does, it will be undeniable, even to them, especially to them. They will see that God was always with you, even when they weren't. You see, divine justice isn't just a verdict. It's a vindication strategy. God won't just restore your name. He'll elevate it. He won't just close the mouths of the mockers. He'll make sure their next breath releases your praise. Not to shame them, but to set the order right again. Heaven is restoring divine order. What was backwards is flipping forward. What was beneath is rising above. The tail is becoming the head. And you are being placed in visibility not because you demanded it, but because heaven ordered it. They thought you were weak, but you were waiting. They thought you were silenced, but you were being positioned. And now that the betrayal has been judged, now that the courtroom of heaven has ruled, the reversal is in full motion. Let them talk. Let them speculate. Let them wonder. Your rise will speak louder than your rebuttal ever could. Your fruit will testify. Your favor will echo. And they will see it. They will not just hear of your breakthrough. They will witness it. They will not just suspect your elevation. They will watch you walk in it. This is your divine reversal. This is your justice season. And nothing and no one can stop what God has already signed. If this word has confirmed your justice season, consider supporting this prophetic ministry with a super thanks. Whether it's $5, $10, or $20, your gift fuels this mission to pour into others just like you. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating via PayPal using the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more prophetic clarity, spiritual strategy, and life-shifting words like this. Your support grows this family. Type "Justice is mine" in the comments. Blessing code 2323 is now activated over your life, sealing your divine reversal. Tonight, the heavens were not silent. Tonight, the veil did not remain closed. Tonight, the whispers of your spirit were heard in the highest places of glory and answered. You were not overlooked. You were not dismissed. You were not abandoned. The betrayal that cracked your heart open became the very reason heaven sent help. Tonight, Archangel Michael did not just stand guard. He did not just watch with compassion. He acted. And because he acted, your life will never be the same again. Let it be sealed in your spirit. The betrayer has been exposed. The mask has fallen. The hand that fed you poison while patting your back has been uncovered. The plot that danced in darkness is now facing the light. You are no longer walking blind. You are no longer guessing. You are no longer doubting what you discern. Heaven gave you truth, and with it, freedom. But not only has betrayal been revealed, protection has been activated. Archangel Michael has encircled your space. There are angels on assignment guarding your home, your mind, your peace, your purpose. You are no longer at the mercy of manipulators. You are no longer entangled in emotional traps disguised as friendships. You are no longer available to spiritual sabotage. You have been lifted. You have been sealed. And you have been sent. Hear this now. You are not leaving this message the same way you came. Something shifted while these words flowed. Something awakened. Something aligned. Your discernment was sharpened. Your faith was strengthened. Your posture was corrected. And now, your path is cleared. The Holy Spirit has walked you from pain to power, from confusion to clarity, from silence to strategy. The warfare is not over, but your awareness has evolved. You now carry spiritual intelligence, and that makes you dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. This was never about just one person betraying you. It was about a pattern that needed to break. It was about a system of toleration that had to end. It was about an old version of you that had to die so that the new, awakened, purpose-driven vessel could rise. You are not bitter. You are better. You are not broken. You are becoming. And every single thing the enemy sent to trap you has now become a stepping stone beneath your feet. Let the peace of God wrap around you now like armor. Let the clarity of heaven rest upon your mind like a crown. Let the silence of your enemies no longer haunt you, but comfort you. Because their silence is not power. Their silence is evidence of spiritual defeat. They could not stand in the light of your growth, and so they fell back into the shadows. Let them go. Let them fade. You have a future to build. Now, with all of heaven as witness, with angels surrounding this very moment, receive this blessing. You are seen. You are sealed. You are sent. You are not wandering. You are walking in precision. You are not doubting. You are moving in destiny. You are not alone. You are being divinely backed. Every assignment meant to harm you has failed. Every tongue that rose against you has been silenced. Every snare that was set has been reversed. And now the way is open. The oil is flowing. The gates are parting. The time is now. Go forth, not as a victim, but as a vessel. Go forth, not as someone trying to heal in hiding, but as someone who carries heaven's agenda with authority. Go forth with your head high, not in arrogance, but in awareness. Heaven has chosen you. Heaven has empowered you. Heaven has trusted you. And no betrayal, no silence, no whisper, no rejection can override heaven's voice over your life. You will never see betrayal the same way again. Because now you understand it wasn't the end. It was the entrance to your next. And the next is holy. And the next is heavy. And the next is here. So rise. Not as a victim. Not as a survivor. But as the one who outlasted the lie, endured the silence, embraced the clarity, and now walks in authority. Tonight was not ordinary. This message was not random. This moment was not accidental. You were meant to hear this. You were meant to be awakened. You were meant to be elevated. And so it is. Type "I am sealed" in the comments if you are walking into this next season with clarity, confidence, and divine covering. Blessing code 8888 is now your closing shield.